What up, YouTube? It's your boy, John Fondo, and we're gonna be breaking down this screenshot for the new Arc System Works Namco Bandai Dragon Ball fighting game. You dig? So if you look at the top of the screen, you can see that there's a timer, which means that the fights are gonna be taking place during time, and there's also life bars. So you will be taking damage. Now, if you look towards the left of the screen, you will see Frieza, and to the right of the screen, you will see Goku, which leads me to believe that these two are going to be playable characters.
Okay, that's quite enough of that. On a more serious note, the reason I'm making this video is because I've seen a lot of people making comments that there's not enough info about Dragon Ball FighterZ right now to really have any idea of what the game's gonna be like. And I'm making this video to show that there's actually quite a bit of information we can pull from this screenshot. Now, this is mostly for the people who are fans of the Dragon Ball games and not necessarily fighting games, because they seem to be the ones who don't see the information in the image. You know, there's probably some stuff that maybe even fighting games players miss, but typically this is all stuff that we're pretty familiar with. So to actually go over what is in this screenshot, the first thing I want to point out is the life bars. Obviously it's a 3v3 game, but if you look to the upper right corner on Goku's side, he has a character who is knocked out. So that pretty much is the indicator that there is not going to be rounds in this game. It's not going to be KOF style, where you knock one character out and then the next one comes in and then the round resets. It's going to be all three characters going on at the same time. Probably is going to have some tagging. Arc System Works has done that before in Extreme Butoden on the 3DS. I think tagging is a pretty obvious thing to expect out of this game. We don't know if there's going to be any assists yet, but definitely not going to be round-based. Also, the timer, 175 seconds, that's also a pretty good indication that there's not going to be rounds, because there's no fighting game where a round lasts 175 seconds. That's kind of ridiculous. I wonder if it's real time or if it's fake time, because even 175 seconds is kind of a long time. That's about close to 3 minutes. And I don't know if they expect an entire match to go on for 3 minutes. I was kind of hoping that the damage would be higher, so I'm hoping that that's fake seconds. Also underneath the health bars is a little lightning bolt icon, and if this isn't going to be a round-based game, I have no reason to believe that that's a round win icon. So I have a feeling that it's something like a burst icon of letting you know how many bursts you have available or something of that nature. Maybe something of the sort. There really is no way to know what this is just yet, but that's kind of my best guess. Now, as for the action that's actually happening in the middle of the screen, we see Frieza is taking damage. So I don't know if he's currently taking damage, because he really doesn't seem to be in the middle of being hit, or if he's just recovering from damage. So it could just be a super or something going on that's a lot more cinematic like this. But I'm also kind of wondering if, because it's a Dragon Ball game, that they have some sort of cinematic clash animation going on or something, because they seem to be kind of button heads and not necessarily, you know, one person hitting the other. But this zoomed in shot is definitely not going to be the normal gameplay, so it's some kind of cinematic thing going on, either a super or some sort of cinematic clash thing going on. Now finally we have reached the bottom of the screen, which doesn't have too much information. It doesn't seem to have any sort of character-specific mechanics like Guilty Gear does or BlazBlue does. So that's pretty standard fare, but there is some interesting information here. The first giveaway that's really obvious is that it has multi-leveled super meters, which means the meter does not stop at a 100%. It goes to level 1, level 2, presumably level 3, maybe even a level 4 and 5. I wouldn't be too surprised if it went up to 5, but if it was more than that, that'd be kind of ridiculous. It might stop at 3 though. So it's probably, well, we see that Goku is at level 2 and has meter built, so it does go to at least level 3, but over that we don't know. But more interesting than that, if you look very closely at the meter, you can see that it is notched at 25%, 50%, and 75%. This is a very standard thing in ArcSys games, but they don't do that unless there are meter options at those levels, basically. So that opens up the possibilities to a lot of things. It could mean that Guilty Gear style Roman cancels are in this game, which would be, you know, doing an input and then canceling your current action to be able to do whatever you want. I kind of feel like that would be a very Dragon Ball thing to include. It could be some kind of EX move, maybe a mid-combo teleport or something that requires meter to do. There's a lot of possibilities here. I don't know if there's going to be a 25 meter option, or if they're going to be locking it to 50 like they do Roman Cancel. But basically, you can expect meter options that are in between levels of super. You probably aren't going to need a whole bar of super to be able to do something. There's gotta be either a 25 meter or a 50 meter option. So that's something to look out for. On top of that, because it's a kind of a hyper game, there's also the possibility that there will be level 2 or level 3 supers, as well as Marvel vs. Capcom style delayed hyper combo systems, where you do a super with one character and then cancel into the super of another character. I mean, obviously none of this is confirmed, but these are things that are possibilities because of the meter options. I mean, you really don't have a need to be able to build more than one level of super unless something uses more than one level of super. So there's either going to be level 2 supers or level 3 supers, or you're going to be able to do a super from one character to the next character, or maybe both, maybe all of those are things. And there might be like team hyper combos like in Marvel, where all 3 of your characters will come out and do a super together. There's a lot of options based on what the meter is showing us. Now, of course, all of this video is just speculation, but again, I was just trying to show that there's a lot of information that you can pull from just this one screenshot. Being able to see the HUD can open you up to a lot of things that are probably going to be in the game. But, I mean, this being a leak, you know, we weren't even supposed to see this yet. The reveal, I think, was supposed to be on the 12th, which is the start of E3. So chances are, on Monday, the start of E3, at some point we're going to get a trailer for this game and we're going to have a lot more information. But just going off of this early screenshot, there's already a lot we can deduce. So if you enjoyed the video, I'm glad that I didn't waste my time, but you know, there it is, and hopefully you were able to get something out of this.